Hello, welcome back everyone to Crypto Novos, where newbies become masters. My name is Chris Brown and I'm the host of the channel. Today I started to do a quick update as to the new all-time high for Ethereum, like everyone has done. Here's an article from Rutgers. But in the course of getting set up for that, all of a sudden, the cryptocurrency market just took a plunge. So, around 12 o'clock today, the price of Ethereum was sitting at 41.38 and it wicked down. As I was setting up for just doing this video, it plunged all the way down to 36.50. Now it's back up to 38.93. Not exactly sure why that's the case. I know Bitcoin took a plunge all the way down to 53,500. Now it's regained itself back up by 4,000 to 57. No, excuse me. It's gotten back to 55. So something it has happened. I took a look at the stock market, and the stock market, the S&P 500. If I can get to it. Not it. The S&P 500 also took a plunge. At around 12 o'clock, it was sitting at around 4,200 and it dropped all the way down to 41.85. So I'm not sure if there's a correlation there or not. Obviously, it's something to watch. The Dow Jones, it has dropped as well. It had peaked as high at around 8:30 this morning as to 35,000, and then it started on its way down, and it didn't quite drop as much. It is the 34,700 essentially right now. So I'm not sure what exactly is happening, but definitely something to watch. So I wanted to give it to you live right now as I'm putting this thing together. Ethereum is recovering. Uh, right now, it's now back up to 3,943. So we'll need to watch this. What I was going to do is talk about Ethereum's all-time high that occurred basically over the weekend. I started to see it climb last night, but it had, from the 7th of May, which was Friday, Ethereum was at 34.43. Let me just verify that. Yes. And so it was climbing over the weekend, and I was watching it, seeing where it was in fact going to go. I did see it come down to 3,700, and then it broke through 4,000. And if you look at the trading activity, it was trading strongly at the 30, almost the 3,900 level, which is where it is right now. The trading bars are the largest there. There was very little resistance at the 4,000 level, the 4,500 level. It started getting some resistance at the 4,100 level, but then it shot up as high as 42.13. So it's got a new all-time high. So that's fantastic for Ethereum. What I wanted to talk about was last week, a lot of the news that came out about Ethereum, it wasn't too many, there wasn't a lot of conversation about it, was what was the impact of the DeFi market on banks. And so I started taking a look at some of the articles that were being written. Here's one in the British Virgin Islands. Specifically, IEG did a white paper, and that white paper really discussed the pros and cons of the DeFi market and its competition to centralized banking. The results of the white paper were very, very interesting, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But essentially, the paper was entitled Lessons Learned from Centralized Finance. Okay, and so they did an analysis in the paper to try to kind of sum of it up. The DeFi market, the replacement of financial intermediaries with automated digital contracts, is a big deal today and is around $76 billion in assets locked up on the Ethereum network alone. I think that's an important thing to become aware of. Now, IEG has been known to be a pioneer in the cryptocurrency space. And so they are very receptive to working with it, hence why this article that they wrote was written. Now, what they're looking at is some lessons learned. So here's says among the lessons learned, IEG pointed to a general trade-off where the reduction in counterparty risk is largely replaced by technical risks around the use of smart contracts. It says, however, the borderless nature of DeFi is alluring to ING, according to the white paper, because centralized institutions spent a lot of time and money compiling, complying with multiple regulations in different jurisdictions. So, again, the whole thing with blockchain and the shift in the monetary system is making things a lot more efficient, a lot more, well, it's decentralized, and so it's not just in control of the central banks, and it's making things cheaper to do, which is where technology is taking us in a lot of ways. So this article is very quick and short. There was another one that was done by Yahoo Finance, which I thought was very interesting. And its headline basically reports IEG advocates that the best of both worlds should be the approach of DeFi integration. So essentially, and we'll take a look at the white paper is essentially saying that the result of this is that if central banks and DeFi can work together, that it might be the best for everyone concerned. And so this article kind of goes into it and talks a little bit about the lessons learned from DeFi and kind of sums it up in a brief way. This is the white paper. So I went in myself and I took a look at the white paper, and quite frankly, I haven't read all the way through it. I did do some skim reading through it, and a lot of it is kind of over my head. I need to kind of dig into it, to be quite honest, but I think the value of this and the reason why I did it is it's opening my eyes. And I am learning as to what is happening from the bank's point of view, for at least one bank's point of view, ING, from their point of view as to the value of the DeFi space in the cryptocurrency market, and what they had said. And I'll just kind of cut to the chase here. In the article right here, this I found very important. And it says, based on our analysis and the lessons learned, we conclude that the best of both worlds is achieved if centralized and decentralized finance services cooperate with each other. So ING is looking for a way to blend the two. They then go through, and this report was really a good report. They kind of explain DeFi, the paradigm shift that's happening. Interestingly enough, as you go through it, I mean, they go through and list the pros and cons of DeFi, which I'm going to really dig down in deep. But I found this to be extremely interesting. The use case, they talk about Aave in this report, and Aave's done an incredible price increase in 2021, and we'll take a look at that towards the tail end of this video. But in reading this, I mean, I just kind of skimmed it, and for the most part, what I got out of it was a very positive impression on Aave and Aave's use case, and it really makes me want. I mean, Aave right now is sitting, I think, around $400. We'll take a close look at it. Yeah, by 428. I can only imagine where it could possibly go if this, not if, when this market and this use case really begins to explode, and there's a bridging of the gap. If ING is correct, if there's really a strong bridging of the gap between centralized institutions and the crypto market and the DeFi space with Ethereum, it'd be interesting to see what Aave does. But I'm going to skip all the way down to the conclusion of this article, because I think that's the heart of what's going on. But you can kind of see. I would highly recommend. This is online. You can easily find it. This is their lessons learned, and they go through them. And I might actually write an article or something in regards to this. So here's the conclusion. It's pretty powerful. DeFi is, and starting up here, DeFi is a new paradigm where centralized finance services are offered based on blockchain. In this white paper, we analyzed 10 DeFi properties and discussed the benefits and downsides of each. Impressive, right? As such, centralized financial institutions can learn from DeFi on how to improve existing processes. They flat out say it. However, we also show that DeFi as a coin is a coin with two sides. There are serious risks in DeFi that should be considered. This is where centralized financial institutions can, in fact, help DeFi companies in addressing these risks. Despite that these centralized and decentralized finance services appear to be different, based on our analysis, we envision that these two services combined will bring benefits to both centralized institutions, to DeFi, and more importantly, to customers. And I think that's the point of this video, is I wanted to bring to you guys that what's happening that's not really getting talked a lot about in depth. Here, ING really makes a strong statement that they really believe that there is a way to bridge the gap between the two. Clearly, they're going to pursue this. I mean, that's why they've written this paper and gone through all this and went through the publication. So it's going to be really interesting, I think important for anyone invested in Ethereum, probably anyone invested in Aave, to focus and watch exactly what IEG does, during the rest of this bull run, the rest of the year, and see how they begin to bridge this gap. And that's something I'm going to look at and see where I can dig in and find some more additional information as it evolves. And I will certainly bring it to you and to the channel. Lastly, I just want to simply close here, just taking a look at what Aave has done. This is the daily chart for Aave. Aave at the beginning of the year started at $81, let's say 82. It went all the way up to $581. It seems to be hovering in between a price point of around $328. It is sitting right now at $428, and it seems to be peaking out at around 518, 520, somewhere right in through there. So hope this was kind of a quick little deep dive into what's happening with Ethereum in terms of price, but also, and the new high that it's achieved, but also a closer look to one of Ethereum's biggest use cases right now, and that is the decentralized finance market space and what's happening with there. So that's it for today. Look forward to doing another little video on this, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future. My name is Chris Brown. I'm the host, and this is Crypto Novus, where newbies become masters. See you soon.